Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is week 7 of the 2013 NFL football season. I'm your boy GD Generation Wayne, helping you get through another week of Survive and Advance, whether it's your Eliminator pool, Last Man Standing pool, Survivor pool, whatever pool you call it. We know what the names are. And this week, looking at everything, going over last week's matchups. Unfortunately, I got bumped, but I'm going to keep playing. That's just the way I roll. I just keep playing no matter what. Looking at last week's stats and all and the scores. The big score that a lot of people were looking at, in my personal pick, was the Carolina-Minnesota game. I think sometimes, like I said, tragedy either brings a team together or it can be overcoming, and I went with Minnesota, and Minnesota just went flat. And I guess with everything that's happened with AP and all, first of all, I want to give my condolences to AP, to the Viking Nation. You never expect to bury a child. That's the last thing when you have one. Usually in life, in the cycle of life, the child buries the parent. I don't know what he's going through. And I have a child. He's 21 now, and I would be devastated if my son was taken from me, before I went home. So my thoughts and condolences out to AP. Only thing I can tell you, lean on God in this time, man. It's going to be okay. Looking at everything coming up for this week, I'm going to start with Seattle and Arizona. Seattle is right now 5-1. Arizona is 3-3. Like I gave my rules on division games, avoid it. Simply put, just avoid it. All right, let's go to Sunday's games. We have Chicago and the Redskins. Now, last week, because I was looking at a Washington paper, I overlooked Dallas-Washington. But if you know the rules that I put up, I would have told you to avoid the game anyway. Dallas smoked Washington late. I think the final score was like 31-16. Romo beat an average team. Talk to me when he beats Denver. Talk to me when he beats a really good team, like a Seattle or a San Fran. Then he can come back to me. Let's go look at Chicago, Washington. Jay Cutler is just playing balling right now. And I have him in my fantasy, a couple of my fantasy teams, and I thought at the beginning of the year, I said, oh God, I got Jay Cutler. Oh boy. Jay Cutler right now is a candidate for league MVP. I know it's Peyton's for right now. I get it's Peyton Manning's, but Jay Cutler is proving everybody, hey, I can still play. So, but as far as using it as an eliminator game, no way you use Washington. Also my rules on it. I do not pick the road team. But Chicago at 4-2 and Redskins at, trying to look at the standings here, 1-4. This could be a good time to test it, but still, it's a home game for the Redskins. I wouldn't use it if you want to use them as your eliminator pick. I just skip this game. Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Now this one I would probably use as eliminator. Tampa Bay right now is 0-5 and sucks. They're not Jacksonville suck, but they're starting to head towards Jacksonville suck. Atlanta right now is 1-4, but here's your problem. You lost Julio Jones for the year. Roddy White looks like he may be gone a few weeks. You have nobody for Matt Ryan to throw the ball to. Other than Tony Gonzalez. So, but this game actually would make sense to use, even though it's a division game. Atlanta should, and I use the key word, should smoke Tampa. I'm kind of like, if you want to use this as your eliminator pick, I would definitely look at Atlanta. I just don't think Atlanta's going to lose to Tampa. I just can't see them losing to Tampa. I just can't. But also, I thought Minnesota wasn't going to lose to Carolina, with everything that was going on, and they did. So that's one of the ones I would consider. Okay, Tampa Bay and Atlanta, and go with Atlanta. Another division game. There's a whole lot of division games this week. You got Dallas and Philly. Ooh. Pass. Good game, but if you want to use it as an eliminator pick, I wouldn't do it. Just, like I said, division games, too many strange things happen. You still don't know the status of Michael Vick. Nick Foles played excellent against Tampa Bay, but that was Tampa Bay. Dallas is a little bit better. I would definitely not. It would be smart to kind of, if Vick is playing, I think that Philly will smoke Dallas. I really do. If Vick ain't playing and Foles start, it will be a close game. I just think Tony Romo will do what Tony Romo does. He'll find a way late to lose. But as an eliminator pick, it's too risky. Usually you try to look for something that you figure is going to be a blowout, but Dallas-Philly won't be a blowout. New England and the Jets. Next game. Another division game. Tom Brady is just Tom Brady. And New England is New England. The Jets are a lot better than 3-3. Playing a whole lot better with Geno Smith. But Geno Smith showed his rookie card last week against the Steelers. And you kind of have to look at this game with a grain of salt. You don't want to use up New England early, because you might need them late. I would definitely just pass on this game if you're trying to use the Jets. Because like I told you last week, too many ifs with the Jets. It's a good pick, and it's like every one that I wanted went wrong. The Jets in Pittsburgh, which I told you do not use, Jets got smoked. Detroit, Cleveland, I would have went with Cleveland. They got beat. And the one I picked, Carolina, Minnesota, they got beat. So, as far as New England and the Jets, go ahead and pass. Just pass on that one. Buffalo and Miami. Now, this one's an interesting one I would use. But I'm not going to use it. Buffalo and Miami. Now, Miami with Tannehill. Right now, Buffalo is down to like their fourth quarterback in Matt Flynn, who just signed with them, I think, yesterday. I would definitely look at this as an eliminator. This is one of those, even though it's a division game, you just can't see Miami losing to Buffalo. It's just one of those, you can't see it. So, if you're down to, right now, of the picks that I would definitely look at, I've got two on the board. I got Tampa Bay and Atlanta, go with Atlanta. I would definitely look at Buffalo, Miami, go with Miami. Yes, the division games, rivalry games. But right now, I just think Miami is playing so much better. Yes, they've lost 2 in a row. One to my Ravens, and also, I think they lost. Might have been, that's where they want to buy last week. So, yeah, I think Miami would definitely be a strong consideration to be an eliminator pick if you want to go with them this week. Now, here's where, like I said, Cincinnati and Detroit. Detroit kills you. This one just passed. 2 good teams in a conference game. Pass. Here's the one, like I said also in my rules. I said that you never use the road team. This might be the time maybe you want to use San Diego. They're playing at Jacksonville. But a short week, trap game written all over it. Excuse me. I would definitely kind of hold off on this one, even though it's Jacksonville, even though they're on the road. They're coming east. Yeah, we've heard them before. San Diego is on a short week, and they're coming east. Would it surprise me if Jacksonville won this game? Yes. But that's the same reason why I wouldn't want to pick San Diego, because it's just too many factors involved. Phillip Rivers is balling right now. He's had an okay game. He had an okay game. Not a good game, but he had an okay game. And he did throw for a touchdown. You know, he got the Chargers to win. Chargers right now are 2-3. Actually, 3-3. I'm sorry, actually 3-3. They're 500. And right now, they're in a tough division with Kansas City and Denver, so they need this win. And you got Jacksonville on your schedule, you better put them away. But I won't use them. But I won't use the Chargers this week, not as an eliminator. Okay, looking at the 405. Now, this one could be the game of the week. San Fran, actually, I know you're probably looking going, wait a minute. San Fran in Tennessee. If Jake Locker was playing, you definitely use him. I'm not saying use him as eliminator. I think you just avoid this game altogether. But this could be a pretty good game. Now, as far as using Tennessee as your eliminator, no. Pass. Now, the next game on tap, I got to go with my game. The Ravens-Steelers, pass. Strictly pass. It's a rivalry game. Even though it's at Pittsburgh, no way you use Pittsburgh against Baltimore. I'm sorry. Unless you really hate the Ravens that much. As you can see, I'm wearing an Ed Reed jersey, so I still love my team, even though Green Bay came in and beat us on Sunday. I told y'all don't even use that game anyway. It's just, two good teams going at it, and it went down to the wire. And Baltimore, Pittsburgh going to be the same way. If you love old school smash mouth football, I think Jim and Nance and Phil Simms will be doing that game. So, if Jim and Phil are covering it, it's the game of the week. So, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, forget the records. It's going to be hard-hitting football. Avoid that game. Don't even use it as your eliminator. Houston and Kansas City. Now, this one I might actually really use. Houston right now is reeling. Kansas City is 6-0. This will probably be the game I go with. Kansas City at home is almost like Seattle at home. They ain't losing. Now, I did say on last week about when Kansas City played Oakland, and it was close until late. It was 14-7 in the fourth quarter. That's why I say division games you really don't want to use as your eliminator, because too many strange things and too many things happen. But they did pull away late. They won like 24-7. So this might be my pick this week is Kansas City. I think they'll just take out Houston. Their defense is for real. And if Matt Schaub is playing, you might as well use them as your fantasy defense. They're going to get a pick 6. So use Kansas City. I'm going to go with Kansas City as my eliminator this week. I'm just looking at all the matchups. My second choice eliminator was the next game on my agenda, Cleveland and Green Bay. Green Bay beat my Ravens 19-17. But I think Randall Cobb is out and another wide receiver, I think it's James Jones. Both of them got hurt against my boys. The hit that Matt Elam laid up on Randall Cobb. If you're not going to let him hit that going to the head, hit high, unfortunately the knees are going to get taken out. And you're going to see a lot more torn ACLs, MCLs, LCLs, PCLs, reconstructive knee surgeries more now than you probably would have ever seen, because a lot of the players, defense are just going to go for the legs, they're going to go for the knees. That's the only way you're going to have to bring them down. And unfortunately, that's what this is the new NFL. I mean, you can't hit the head, you're going to hit the next thing that's going to take them out is the knees. So I'm hoping that you don't see a lot more knee injuries, but with this new league and the safety and all, a lot of players are going to go low. And I'm sorry what happened to Randall Cobb. And I think what Elam did, I think it's borderline, and I'm a Raven fan, so I'm being objective. It was borderline. But that's the new NFL. But Green Bay should win the game. And that's my second choice on Eliminator. First choice is Kansas City, second choice is Green Bay. And the Sunday night game is called the Manning Bowl. Denver at Indianapolis. This will probably be the highest rated Sunday night game ever. Simply put, Peyton Manning going back to Indianapolis. Enough said. As far as Eliminator goes, no way you're using either team. So let's just move on. And the Monday night game. I'm going to go out on a limb. Minnesota and the Giants. Like I said about the cornered rat last week, the Giants are at home. On a national audience. They're 0-6. Minnesota is 1-4. This will be my risky pick in Eliminator. I would actually use the Giants in this week. The only reason why is I feel like this. They should beat Minnesota. They should. Minnesota, I mean, they're going to have a tough week because a lot of the players is going to go to little AP's homegoing. And then try to get back into preparing for the Giants is probably going to be a lot tougher. But if you're going to use them, if you're going to use the Giants, this might be the one time you use them. If you're going to use the Giants this week, I would definitely use them on Monday. Use them. When I looked at the standings from last week, and unfortunately have the scores in front of me like I should. The 3 games that I was kind of worried about was Pittsburgh and the Jets, and they fulfilled what I said. It's just, the Jets, you just don't know. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. It finally did. Detroit, Cleveland. Megatron played, but I think he only had like 3 catches for 24 yards. Didn't have a big game, but the tight end, Faria, had a huge game. And Carolina, Minnesota, Cam Newton just balled last week. And that was a game that I said, they was fighting for his job and Rivera's job. And Carolina right now, they're playing okay. They're playing St. Louis. That would be another team I would consider an eliminator. So I have 4 teams this week that if you want to kind of use as your eliminator. I would say Carolina. I would go with Kansas City. That's the one I'm definitely going with, is Kansas City. Green Bay. And Miami. So any one of those 4, if you use them this week, you should win. You should win. You should survive and advance to next week. And that's all the time I have. I love each and every one. If you want to make a comment, feel free to comment. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is at the franchise player. That's capital THE, capital FRNCHSE, capital PLAYA on Twitter. Follow on the Syracuse Bar Tour, D-Generation Wayne on ESPN Eliminator Challenge. And until then, I love you. God loves you more. Until next time, see you next week. Peace.